Now, I am of the opinion Kamala Harris will be the Democratic nominee. Why? Intersectionality. She checks all of the boxes. And I don't mean for intersectionally, I mean just for the Democrats. She is a crony, high-profile DNC, kind of person, like Democrat. She is the perfect, she's like Hillary, you know what I mean? Like, she's that perfect corporate crony Democrat. She's also a woman of color. So that's perfect for the Democrats. And look, I'm not normally one to use gender or race, but I'm bringing that up because that was the question posed by the Democrats. Should a white man be the nominee? And because of that, I think people are going to lean towards Kamala. Now, here we can see, check this out. Who will win the 2020 Democratic presidential nomination? What you are seeing here is predicted political betting. Joe Biden has dropped by 1 cent. Elizabeth Warren is up 1 cent at 29 cents. So people are really betting on Elizabeth Warren taking this. Here's what I want to stress, however. While I am still of the opinion Kamala Harris will be the Democratic nominee, my confidence in that has faltered greatly. Greatly. Why? Because Tulsi Gabbard completely and utterly destroyed Kamala Harris in the last debate. And it was one of the most glorious moments in politics I'd ever seen. When Tulsi Gabbard was going after Kamala, I imagined that, that Elmo gif where he's like this and there's fire behind him. I'm like, yes, burn it down. I mean, metaphorically, of course. You have to make those distinctions. But anyway, seeing someone actually tear down these crony corporate Democrat types who are authoritarian. She locking people up, to keep them as cheap labor. All of that, all those accusations, it was just so glorious. And then even better still, check out this graph. Here we can see that in May, Kamala Harris was around 11 cents. And then after the first debate, she skyrocketed to 29 cents at her peak, rivaling, actually higher than where Biden and Warren are today. Here's the thing, though. And the cents are kind of percentages, right? Because it's about, I think it technically is, but no, it's not really. But it's kind of this idea. So this happened because she targeted Joe Biden. She stole some of that thunder and everyone cheered for her, but then look where the drop happens. On the 30th, she falls hard and keeps falling down to 13, where she's at 14 now. And that was because Tulsi Gabbard delivered a legitimate hit. And it's not just the prediction markets. Her polls are actually down. So I have this story. Senator Kamala Harris continues to dip in the polls. Just from the other day, News 1. The last debate appeared to hit the California senator hard. And and they got the Tulsi Gabbard there in bold. Look, even if Tulsi Gabbard doesn't get the nomination, which I really don't think she will, she hasn't qualified for the next debate because of the polls. And that's unfortunate. Andrew Yang has. So I'm happy about that. But I think I'm kind of liking Tulsi Gabbard better. And we'll get into this too, because I want to mention, Yang said that he had no choice but to call Trump a white supremacist. And that was like, oh, Yang, no, don't play this game, man. Don't. But we'll get to that. But Tulsi, if anything, if the only thing she's accomplished is standing up there and delivering that campaign-ending debate slam, then it was all worth it. Absolutely. So let's read this about Kamala Harris getting knocked down hard. Before we do, head over to timcast.com/donate if you'd like to support my work. There's a PayPal option, a crypto option, a physical address, but of course, you know why I ask. You got to share this video if you support my work because YouTube is deranking me. And I'll tell you this, you look at the charts that have been published, this channel went from getting like a tiny portion of political suggestions to flatlining straight zero. I don't even know how this channel even still exists, but apparently y'all like hearing me talk so much, you come back and watch my videos. I appreciate it. If you really do like hearing me talk and think other people might, share the video because I think that's actually the only thing keeping this going. I'll be completely honest. I did a day or two where I didn't ask people to share and views tanked. So I really do think it's you guys sharing that's driving the traffic for the most part. But let's read. They write, Kamala Harris has now been able to recover after the second debate where she was hit hard on record by Tulsi Gabbard. The California senator is continuing to slip in the polls, went viral for holding Joe Biden accountable for comments about segregationists and his policy on busing. Now the tables have turned and Harris took a blow in the polls. And let's do this. I don't think I can actually pull up Gabbard in the stats here, but I can show you that Tulsi Gabbard is at 4 cents above Cory Booker. So they don't give you the option to put Gabbard on the graph. We can see that, Kamala Harris is taking a huge hit. I'd be willing to bet that Tulsi, actually, maybe we can pull this up. I want to see if Tulsi Gabbard has done better recently. All right, I'm not gonna try and dig into this and figure out, but I'd be willing to bet Tulsi Gabbard has gone up a bit because of that takedown of Kamala Harris. Unfortunately, she doesn't have enough polls to qualify for the next debate. We'll see what happens. They say News One reported shortly after the debate, according to the Morning Consult poll, Harris went from 13 to 10 percentage points, the only top 8 candidate to drop. Woo! Now she has dropped even further. 530 reports, after weighting the average of 5 post-debate polls, Harris is currently at 7.9%, the largest dip for any of the presidential candidates. The only other closest drop in Biden at 28.4% and Warren at second place at 17.1%. Harris's drop is clearly due to the attack by Tulsi Gabbard. And it was all worth it. Every video I made praising Tulsi, the donations I sent her, I am glad she was able to stand up there and stick it to a crony corporate Democrat. I'm still kind of thinking Kamala will be the nominee, but Elizabeth Warren is skyrocketing now. So maybe it's going to be Warren. I don't know. But she is not a person of color, and that is a net negative for the Democratic Party right now, though she is a woman. We'll see what happens. Andrew Yang has been killing it. His predicted now has him at 9 cents, and it's up. And that's really interesting. Earlier, I made a comment about Yang crying over gun issues, and I've seen a lot of conservatives dragging him for it. That's fine. He's not trying to get your vote for the primary. It may hurt him in the general with moderates. I don't think so. Liberals act on emotion. When they see Yang crying over gun issues and children dying, that to them is, they're going to go, oh, and they're going to be like, that's my guy. He cares. You can see it. It's real. And I can understand that. The reason, I'll just go over this quickly, but liberals tend to operate on a emotional spectrum, care and fairness, while conservatives operate on 5 moral foundations. This coming from Jonathan Haidt's research. But a couple quick updates as we're talking about this politicians, and I want to drag Yang a little bit for his Trump comments. First, Tesla CEO said he supports Democratic presidential candidate Andrew Yang, calling universal basic income obviously needed. Yes, but we got to make sure we have secure borders and we deal with illegal immigration. Because if we're having hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants coming to this country every month, and we're not even deporting that many people, we have an inverse relationship between taxes being paid, benefits going out, and people coming in. Some have argued these illegal immigrants are paying taxes and not receiving benefits, so it's a net positive, but universal basic income won't necessarily work. Actually, maybe that's the play from the Democrats. Bring in a bunch of bring in a permanent underclass that's paying taxes but can't receive benefits, and then the American citizens reap the benefits. I don't know. I'm not going to get into the whole UBI thing because I've been pretty bearish on it. I am not a fan for the most part. But I think it's important that Yang is talking about it because it will be a serious factor. And look, it's going to happen. Automation is displacing low-skill work. Combine that with illegal immigrants. Yang says immigrants are being scapegoated. I think he's playing it to the left. The issue is they both play a factor. If we're automating low-skill jobs and displacing other low-skill jobs with illegal non-citizen labor, well, then we got a serious problem in this country. Those low-skill jobs could be filled by Americans who would want a higher wage. I want to highlight the Musk thing, but let's get into this story. Yang says no choice but to call Trump a white supremacist, and this to me was a huge disappointment. I have donated to Yang. I believe in him for one reason. Okay, it's a bunch of reasons, but the main point is when he was on the debate stage, he was asked about healthcare, and he says we've got to get healthcare off the backs of small businesses, and he was right, 100% right. Whatever your position is on healthcare, be it private, public, whatever, we got to get it off the backs of businesses. We want to encourage people to start companies, and they shouldn't be worrying about whether or not they are going to be a healthcare provider for their employees. Now, I don't know what the solution is, but that was an excellent framing of the problem. The left is saying people deserve healthcare. The right is saying, well, then pay for it yourself. And Yang was like, fine, sure, but why are private businesses footing the bill for this? Why do they have to be the ones to offer this up? It's kind of weird. The reason it's a good thing, whether you agree with him or not, is that he's looking at issues in a way that's not just this talking point line of garbage from the Democrats about care or fairness. That was very pragmatic of Andrew Yang to talk about how it's affecting businesses, and that made me want to listen. But more importantly, I'm not saying he's right. His website has a huge list of proposals for all of these different issues, and he was the first person that I saw who actually had a comprehensive list trying to tackle and present solutions. And I said, get him on the debate stage. This right here, this story calling Trump a white supremacist, is Yang falling into the talking point trap. Now, I will say, it seems like CNN pushed him until he finally gave in and said, oh, you apparently have no choice. He didn't say, quote, Donald Trump is. What happened was they asked him, do you think he is? Do you think he is? And finally Yang said, well, you have, I guess no choice. No excuses. This is a stupid game being played for political, I get it, but I'll say this, man. If you're going to play that game to try and win, I'm not going to vote for you, to anybody. If Yang actually believes that, I don't know if I want to vote for you either in that capacity. Trump is not a white supremacist. That's insane. It's lie after lie after lie. Is Trump callous? I'd say so. Is he borscht? 100%. Is he a white supremacist? That's ridiculous. They push this nonsense over and over and over again and demand you speak up. Look, man, I can criticize the president because I'm sane and I think he's worth criticizing. I think his attitude is bad. I think his tweets are bad. I think there's a lot of things he's done that are very, very crude and crass. But this is nuts. They go on MSNBC and say that Trump is trying to exterminate Latinos. Give me a break, dude. The guy is just a kind of a dick. That's the worst thing. Like, you can criticize his policies, you can say he's doing things that are bad, but that's a question of competence. And if you want to say you don't think he's competent, okay, great. You want to call him a white supremacist? Dude, you know what, man? You're not arguing anymore. You're not talking about the problem. Come to me and say, I think Trump is problematic because his off-the-cuff way of speaking, it's very crude, and it presents a negative image that we need in greater negotiations for the American people. His tariffs on China are being sent back to the American people and not to China. That, his border wall is not going to stop the problem because people will overstay their visas. Those are all things you can bring up. I will argue against, right? For instance, the China thing. Easy. The issue isn't to whether or not Americans will pay more for goods in China. The fact is companies will lose profits by operating in China. Therefore, they're going to bring back American labor. A lot of people on the left seem to miss that argument. You can still argue. I'm not saying Trump's right to do it. I'm just saying that's the bad argument. Talking about people flying and overstaying their visas is a fine argument, but it ignores the 100,000 plus people who are coming on foot. The point is, I'm not here to argue for or against anything Trump is doing or to say he's right or wrong. The point is, when you come out and say this, you're not arguing anymore. You've literally, this is Andrew Yang coming out and saying Orange Man bad. I don't care. I know the Orange Man is bad. Please, tell me about his policies and tell me about what your solution is. And Yang has done that often, saying Trump's policies for bringing back jobs is kind of in the past. That these jobs have moved because of transportation technology, communications technology, and automation, and we need to think about the future. I think Yang is right about a lot of that, but I also think Trump has a lot of understanding of these, or at least he's right about a lot of the free trade agreement stuff. That's why I think it would be great if Trump brought in Yang and Tulsi in some capacity. Wow, that'd be powerful. Because I think Trump's gonna win. But I'm gonna wrap this one up. I'm not saying I hate Yang and this is the end and Yang is canceled. No, Yang put out a tweet saying something like, I'd be surprised if everyone agreed with me. Yeah, but this is something else, dude. This is Yang saying nothing but garbled garbage talking points based on lies and nonsense because the Orange Man is bad, I get. But this kind of, this is nuts. You've lost me, okay? I'm still rooting for Yang for the debates. I don't think he's gonna get the nomination anyway, but this is strike one. Stick around. Next segment will be tomorrow at 10 a.m. Podcast every day at 6:30. I'll see you all next time.